Dinosaurs have been gone for 66 million years. But what if they didn't go anywhere? What would the world look like today if the asteroids and avian dinosaurs never went extinct? Here are just a few of the things that would be different if dinosaurs never went extinct. First up, our old friends, the dinosaurs, would have continued to evolve and grow in size and intelligence. Since the asteroid event, we've seen mammals go from tiny critters to dominating the entire planet. But before that, it was the age of the dinosaurs, and these reptiles were growing larger than ever. Mammals were mostly small protowombats living in the shadows, while the world belonged to the dinosaurs. So if this trend had continued, the future of the dinosaurs could have seen some incredibly huge and powerful species. Some scientists even think that if the asteroid hadn't happened, the dinosaurs could have eventually developed higher intelligence and evolved to become rivals of mammals. It is possible that a new primate-like group of dinosaurs could have eventually evolved and come to dominate the world. And maybe we'd be the ones living in the shadows. And don't forget, there was a wide variety of dinosaurs, not just enormous plant-eating sauropods and fearsome carnivores. Smaller dinosaurs like the ornithomimids could have also grown smarter and adapted to life in the trees. In fact, all land vertebrates may have continued to get bigger until they hit a ceiling due to physical limitations. If this had happened, we may have ended up with giant versions of frogs and lizards slithering around, too. But this isn't the case. Instead, we find ourselves living among the descendants of those tiny lizard-like dinosaurs called birds. And while they're definitely different, birds are the only living dinosaurs around today. So how did they get so different from their cousins, the crocodilians? Well, that's all thanks to an asteroid. After the mass extinction caused by the asteroid, many groups of animals went extinct. The dinosaurs were one of the major groups affected, but birds were a smaller, already flying group of dinosaurs. They were able to survive and adapt after the event when mammals started taking over. They took to the skies and evolved into the many species of birds we know today. However, if the asteroids had never struck, birds wouldn't be the only dinosaurs around today. There would be plenty more kinds of dinosaurs around, along with other types of ancient megafauna. But let's imagine that the asteroids kept coming. Maybe they were just part of a series of collisions that nearly wiped out life on Earth several times. If this was true, the dinosaurs might have gone extinct long before we ever showed up. Let's fast forward to about 260 million years ago during the late Permian period. This was a time when huge animals like dinocephalians and therapsids roamed the land. But something was brewing. A massive volcanic eruption in what is now Siberia. This eruption caused massive climate change and paved the way for the rise of the dinosaurs. But what if another animal had taken over first? These massive mammal-like reptiles known as therapsids could have easily taken over instead of the dinosaurs. If they had survived the Permian extinction event, therapsids gave rise to many early mammal species, including the ancestors of modern mammals. If they had managed to continue evolving in the way that they were, they may have been the dominant species on Earth. And this raises a terrifying thought. What if the therapsids had evolved into vicious carnivores? Imagine hordes of saber-toothed cat-like creatures roaming the land in packs, hunting down prey and ruling the food chain. That would certainly be one way that the world could have turned out. If the asteroid had missed the Earth, instead, mammals were able to flourish after the dinosaurs went extinct. This means that if the dinosaurs were still here, mammals may have never dominated the world. Some species like our ancestors may have continued to live in the shadows, small, scurrying creatures that never came out, except at night, and human existence would have been impossible. But what else would be different if the dinosaurs had never gone extinct? One major difference would be the world around us. The dinosaurs helped shape the forests, oceans, and landscapes of the Earth. But if they never went extinct, they would continue to thrive in their own way. Without the extinction event, many of the plants and animals we rely on for food may have never existed. Ecosystems would look completely different, with the top predators being vicious meat-eaters, like Tyrannosaurus rex and Giganotosaurus, instead of cute little gray wolves. Many animals that exist today are only around because they evolved after the extinction of the dinosaurs. Take the mighty short-faced bear, for example. This behemoth weighed over 1,000 pounds and lived during the Pleistocene era. Its ancestors had split off from the modern brown bear lineage about 400,000 years ago, but it went extinct only 11,000 years ago at the end of the last ice age. But what if it was still around today? Or take, for example, modern whales. Today, whales are the largest animals on the planet, but their ancestors were much different. They used to be small proto-whales that lived on land. But as the dinosaurs went extinct and mammals began to dominate, the proto-whales were able to grow larger and eventually make their way back into the oceans, where they evolved into the creatures we know today. But without the extinction of the dinosaurs, whales may have never had this chance. So if the dinosaurs were still around today, we wouldn't have the same world we live in now. It's hard to imagine the world we live in today with the dinosaurs still around. Their presence would have changed everything from the way we farm our food to the way we build our cities, with giant predators roaming the streets, leaving huge piles of poop everywhere. It's unlikely that any modern cities would ever be built. Technology would be far behind what it is today, and we might still be living in caves. Or maybe the dinosaurs would have simply destroyed any attempts at building a civilization. Even more importantly, we might not even be here at all. If the dinosaurs were still around, there's no telling what kind of disaster would strike next. After all, it was a massive asteroid that allowed mammals to take over and eventually led to the rise of humanity. Maybe if the asteroid had never hit, our time on this planet would have been wiped out millions of years ago. Speaking of asteroids, the impact that led to the extinction of the dinosaurs also had a massive effect on the climate. The asteroid struck in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula and caused massive climate change. Dinosaurs were well adapted to warmer climates and thrived in the heat. But if they were still around today, they might not be so happy. As we've seen, the climate has changed drastically since the dinosaurs were around. If the asteroid had never hit, the global ecosystem might not look like it does today. Places like Antarctica, which are now frozen tundras, might have been warm and tropical. And with the dinosaurs still living there, they would have continued to shape the environment. So who knows what kind of world they would have created. In fact, the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs might have saved them in the long run. Around 20 million years after the extinction of the dinosaurs, the Earth entered a massive ice age. This lasted for about 90 million years and caused many animals to go extinct. It's possible that the dinosaurs wouldn't have been able to survive in such cold conditions. So maybe the asteroid that killed them was actually a blessing in disguise. There is no denying that dinosaurs would have continued to thrive and evolve if they had never gone extinct. And while we may never know exactly what would have happened, it's fun to speculate. What do you think the world would be like if the dinosaurs were still around today? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also, check out What If Humans Never Went Extinct? And what if Atlantis was real? And don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on all of our awesome videos.